Alrighty, so we are on to the final part of our full set review for Journey of Discovery. I'm joined, of course, by the inimitable, the incredible, the one, the only Travis Rudrose Pfeiffer. How are you doing today?
It- It's the final card set. Hopefully, I don't get copyrighted for that. I'm great, man. Always happy to talk about light and dark cards that are usually either completely worthless or completely busted, like Stern and Yuna.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, and we can start with the duality of light and dark with Cecil. 4 cost, Cat 4, Job Dark Knight Paladin. I will say, I've wanted them to do this for forever. Where it's a card that is both, like
Yeah.
the classic thing. So 0 cost action ability, choose a forward other than Cecil till the end of the turn. Cecil and the chosen forward lose power of any value less than Cecil's power. Must be 1,000. You can only use this during your opponent's turn and only once per turn. And you can discard a light card to give Cecil plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. So this is our legend. So as is tradition, I will let you start with the legends.
Well, first of all, thank you for reading it correctly. Until just now, I thought his action ability said gain 1,000 power. I was like, oh, that's kind of lame. 10,000 is a much different card. Um, This is really cool. I like the theme. I like the design. I don't know where this goes or how good it is, especially because these days, like light and dark, you got to be bringing something pretty impressive to the table. Uh, like, would it have been broken to use it on your turn? Like, I understand once per turn, but I don't know. Like, I can only use it on their turn, and yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird. So, like, let's say you don't have the extra light card, which, by the way, I like that design. Shades of the old Citra and Reagan from Opus 10, that it's not a special. You don't specifically need a Cecil, but getting those extra Cecils, okay, it doesn't clog your hand up anymore. You feed them into this one. Um, like, I'm trying to think. So let's say they have an 8K, and so then you shrink both Cecil and that forward by 8,000. Cecil lives, that forward dies. And then it's repeated. Like, if he can stick around, you can do that turn after turn after turn after turn. How relevant is that for a 4 cost light card? And presumably you want to have other light cards to power him up? I don't know. Like, maybe back in Opus 10, 11, this would have been really cool. But I just feel like nowadays this is asking for a lot, which is a shame because it's a cool card.
I actually think it would be better if it was just a special. So the thing that's kind of
Oh,
fun.
yeah?
This is a Cecil named Paladin, so you can tag the Earth Dark
Yeah.
Knight into this if you wanted to. But if you do that, then all the Cecils that you have kind of die in hand if you draw another Earth Cecil. Now, like the Earth Cecil, you can use this Cecil as special fodder, so like it works that way, but like not the other way, which is a little bit annoying. I love the art. This is my favorite Amano art for Cecil. I think like it looks so good, but like it really doesn't do what I want it to most of the time. If I want the removal on this card, I want the removal now. I don't want to give my opponent a turn to do something on their turn. Like, let's say I'm against Knights and I play the Cecil and I'm like, okay, cool. I got this. I'm going to, kick their ass. Game's over. We're good, right? And I go to their turn and, they've got the last one play. Whatever. It's fine. The last one, she's going to die on their turn. And they go, Charlotte. And you just go, oh, son of a
Yeah.
bitch. like, so then you lose, right? Like you can't kill the Laswell anymore. And he has to make himself tiny to do it. So it's like, let's say you want to kill a
Yeah.
7K, they go Zac and Cecil fucking dies unless you have
Right.
the light card in hand. If my opponent has Tyvis in play, like I can't kill Tyvis with it because Cecil can't go to 0. Like, would it
Yeah.
have killed them to make it a 10K? I know that like we always complain about like light and dark cards.
Absolutely.
Like we complain about light dark cards being overstated all the time anyway, but like this is a light card that literally shrinks his own power and he can't kill a 10K because of it. Like,
Or let him go to 0, so at least, okay, well, I'm taking the Tyvus out with me. Like, yeah, the fact that he can only hit the 8Ks without his boost is just, that's so restricting.
so I want to like the card, and I do think playing this for 2 is a lot better than playing this for 4. But I'm not convinced this is the best Cecil I can play for 2 to pair with the Earth Cecils. And if
Yeah.
that's the case, then I don't really want this card.
Yep.
which is sad. I like the card. I think the design's cool. Like it's doing both the Dark Knight and the Paladin thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it's so cool. But or like if there was like a second action ability, it's like choose a forward you control. Cecil loses that much power, and that forward gains that much power or something. It's like
Right.
protecting them.
Yeah.
Like how cool would that like? They ran out of room for the text box on it, I guess, at that point, right?
Right.
Or like maybe like I don't know how you template it. Maybe like the chosen forward either gains or loses that much power or something. Like so
Yeah.
then he can protect your Rydias or your Palams or your Porums. Like that would be really cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, little so this card's so close for me. If it was honestly, I would like it better if it was only during your turn. If the reduction happened only on your
Yeah.
turn, like
Absolutely. Because then you could do it immediately at least.
yeah, like no, I yeah. We'll move on to the light card. I do think it's funny. This is another tangent. These are both the Amano arts they used in the Magic the Gathering set for the
Yeah.
Through the Ages set. We didn't have either of these arts, and like one set, the next set after the Magic set, or like two sets afterwards, we get the actual Amano for these. So this is
Right. Yeah.
Bart's Cat 5, Wanderer, Warrior of Light. If you control 4 or more Cat 5 characters, he gains Haste, First Strike, and Brave. So the Warrior of Light text. And when into the field, you reveal the top 7, add 2 Cat 5 cards among them to your hand. Shuffle the rest, put them on the bottom of your deck. It needs a 5 cost 9k. So I played a lot of Refia, and I played a decent chunk of even like the Bart's Refia variants. I don't think this can really fit very well into either of them. The Bart's Refia deck loves the 1 cost Barts because like when you're specialing anyway, you don't really care what the card does on field. So the fact that it has something it can do in the break zone is actually very powerful. This one
Mhm.
obviously can't do that. And there's just not enough Cat 5 cards that you really want to play. Like if you max out on I'm going to run 4 Lenas, I'm going to run 3 Ferrises, 3 King Tycoon, 3 Lenas. Like what other Cat 5 characters are you running? Like are you running like an X Death in your deck? Are you running like
Right.
what's the Cat 5 card that's like no, like you could run a Siren, I guess, but like it's characters, so your cards. We'll run summons. Well, there's 2 Cat 5 summons in the entire game, and one of them is banned. So,
Right.
the other one is
Yeah. If you could get Sildra off of this, I'd like it a lot better.
So like I like the text. I think the concept is cool, but like I don't see a ready-made home for this. Again, being able to have a second copy of Warrior of Light is really neat. Plays really nicely with Refia in that regard. If you play this in Refia, you could reveal King Tycoon and go, you could get, a King Tycoon Searcher that deck would love. But like the light dark competition, even in a Warrior of Light deck, is actually high just because the Opus 5 wall, the hero that's like on play, reveal the top 5 at a Warrior of Light,
Hmm.
and then when it dies, it plays a 3-cost Warrior of Light from the break zone. And it's like,
Yeah.
I like that better than this. Just to like dig for Sarah or, the Kryl or whatever that way, and then still get some value on death. So,
Yeah. 7 cost Giga Wall probably ruined a lot of future light and dark cards for me because it's like, well, why would I do this when I could just play him? Oh, and they come right to the field and he has this nutty special. Like, I know they're technically doing different, but if I'm going to sit there and have this guy and reveal all these cards, I'd rather just go in on him. So this is another one of those weird cards where like none of this text is bad, but it's also just unexciting. And like you said, what deck do you even put this in?
yeah, it's. I will say, like historically, that Ace, the 5-cost Ace, was a good card and did the same thing as
Yeah.
well. And like Reveal 7 is a lot better than Reveal 5. For
Oh,
admittedly.
absolutely. It's
Like
kind of crazy how much those extra 2 make a difference.
so, you could play it again. I just like there's just other cards and other even like Bartz's. Plus, I will say Bartz
Yeah.
might have the highest density of good Amano art in the entire. Up there with Lena. Like,
Right?
for like
Yeah,
the
someone loved that character.
because like the Opus 15 one with like the moon in the background is stunning.
I know.
The Time Magic Bartz has such good art. There's the Opus 18 one where he's like on the chocobo, like walking away, like
Mhm.
and like I actually like the more I've looked at this art, the cooler it is. Like the way he's got like his hands like this, like the details in his fingers when you start really looking at it. Like I'm like really appreciating the art now that I'm looking at it more. But yeah, I very very close. I'm going to be quite honest. Like this card is almost there. For another card to talk about, this is Jack Garland. We're gonna go kill some chaos.
That's right, chaos.
So immediately, by the way, this card breaks the full art rule. I don't know why they've started doing this randomly recently, but they have, where one card that shouldn't be a full art is a full art. Why they did it on Jack, I don't understand either, because they seem to hate this game by like the quality of cards they give Sopfo, but I digress. Jack is a stranger from Sopfo. Always card name Jack Garland, so you can use him for Garland specials. When he enters the field, you name a job. He can't be chosen by abilities of characters with the named job. And at the end of each of your turns, you choose a forward with the named job and remove it from the game. Uh, it's a legend. As is tradition, I will let you start on this one.
So I almost feel like this was designed to. Someone was like getting destroyed by knights, and they said, "Oh yeah, well I'm gonna make a card that just says F you to your knights." Because if you play this, you name knight. Oh, by the way, your Ramza can't target me. You know, your Garland can't ping me. Your Lastwell can't freeze me, and I'm gonna be killing one of your knights every single turn. Like that's pretty crazy. Outside of that, I was trying to think. Okay, so let's say they're playing some deck that doesn't really have any job synergy. Are you okay if this only takes out one thing? Maybe that's not bad, but also again, light and dark is so contested these days. I don't know if getting rid of a single forward is going to be worth it. I would imagine you want to get at least two, maybe three, maybe continuous. So clearly in the right situation, he just goes nuts. Otherwise, again, another strange card where like clearly the text isn't bad, but if they don't have a job synergistic deck, I don't know why you would necessarily go in on him. One question as I turn it over to you. In all situations, does that mean he can be searched out of the deck as card name Garland?
If they printed a card that says search for card name Garland, add it to your hand, yes, you could search this card.
He counts for that. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think there's a Garland specific searcher, but so the first time I read this card, I was really underwhelmed. I was like, he seems fine, but like he does do the thing where it's like because cards in FF can't enter as something, he does have to like sit there and gain the protection from the job. So if they already have the
Mhm.
Ramza, you're kind of
Oh,
shit.
they can do it on the stack. That's right. Never mind.
Um, but there's ways around that, and like kind of the more I've thought about it, I'm like, I've softened up on that a little bit. I'm like, okay, you don't want to play this into a Raffia board probably, but like this probably isn't for the Raffia matchup most of the time. Like I'll just like, concede it's probably not great against like a Warrior of Light deck or something, but against Knights specifically, this does really hose the like Warriors. Like
Yeah.
sure, Axstar can dull freeze him, but Axstar can't kill him, and you're going to remove remove the Tyvus from the game, remove the Axstar, remove the Volker. It's at the end of turn, so it's in that window where they can't amot that second trigger. Like they have to
Yeah.
like stop him on the stack in the turn. Like that's really powerful. Like he really is. If your deck doesn't have an out to this card,
Yeah. They
he's
don't
really
have
good.
Cooch Lane.
I do think it's funny. He kind of is better against good knight players than bad knight players because I've seen a lot of like players that are like relatively new with knights. They'll just go like turn one, Ramza, Karilla, like dump their whole
Mhm.
hand, and like against those players, he's actually like a lot worse, which is really funny to me. But like against better knight players that aren't so aggressive and like getting Ramza into play, he is really really difficult for that deck.
Yeah.
I kind of wish he had like the true magic protection, like couldn't take damage from characters with the name job as well.
Yeah.
Like you could just like have an infinite like if they don't have a non, if it, again say knights, I could just block Laswell and Karilla all day and take no damage for it, right? Like
Hmm.
that would be so much better. Like even there, like I think knights would have ways around it if they needed to. A lot of them are still on Clive Ifrit, Surges,
Yeah. You
Kuja,
just
like
Cooch Lane him. Just, okay. You have
yeah,
no text now.
Kuchu, Porum, but like if you find the right decks, and usually you'll still get the value out of them the first turn you play them. Again, like a lot of times Tyvus has gotten good value the first turn you play him, but you still don't want the Tyvus hanging around. So like,
Yeah.
there's some fun stuff. There's some fun mind games with that too. Say your opponent has Tyvus Mog, and you play this, and you go to the end of the turn. They have to, they have to decide like, oh, is he going for Tyvus or is he going for Mog? I don't know which one. Like because he doesn't
Yeah.
choose until the end phase. I think that's really powerful. You do need to be careful if you're using this in a mirror match. If you're both playing knights and you run this as a tech card to win the mirror, he does require you to remove your own forward if there is a valid target in play, which is a little
Oh,
bit
you're right.
scary.
He does. Yeah.
That's kind of flavorful. I kind of like that. Like it's so. I think this card. I see him as a nice silver bullet one of for some matchups if your deck is specifically weak to knights.
Yeah. I was just thinking, man, if they ever had a sideboard, this would be one of those cards you would just maybe hold in there.
Yeah. Um, I do want like more Jacks that are not the whole like quite the evil one. Like, yes, that's what happens in the game at the end, but like it's not who the character is all the time. I don't know. This is one
Yeah.
of my favorite game. It's one of my favorite Final Fantasies. Period. I love this game. I just want to see it represented slightly better in the TCG. It really
Mm.
feels like a lot of time it's like the same thing every time for the Jacks. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, guys. Like, we're this close. Like,
Well, and since we're about to wrap up with the main 8 elements, I'll piggyback on that and saying that is a frustration I've always had with the TCG is sometimes they get a character and they're like, okay, this character always does this thing. Look at the Emperor or Kane or yeah, it's just like they must always do this thing. That's their thing. They always like, no, come on, give him something else to
uh,
do.
Kane betrays you and has first strike. That's his thing.
Yeah.
like,
Yep. Always. At all times.
uh, all right. So for our hero dark card, we have Snovlinka. So she is from Brave Exvius. She's a Job Cirrus. Shifts the field, choose one of the following two. If you have had 5 points of damage, you get 2 of 2. So either she gains haste, and if she deals damage to your opponent or a forward, she does double damage. Or choose a forward, deal it 8k, and she has 8,000 power. So they've had a lot of these over the years where they'll print the light dark forward with. Like, they have to print a light dark hero every set. And it
Mhm.
feels like, specifically for the dark ones, they kind of just don't know what to do for the hero dark cards a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I think of like the Sin from Opus 19, the Arden from last set, the Ilua
Mhm.
from like a couple sets ago. It's just these like dark heroes that like would have gone really hard in Opus 8 and like
Yeah.
just don't have anything there. And I think of that style, I think Snovlinka is probably the best of them. Like, 3CP kill something. Like, again, I'm not excited for that, but like, it is above rate on the kill spell. Her body's pretty big, so like if you really need to get a witch off the field, like she doesn't die to the witch unless the witch player sacks either Marlboro or like 2 monsters, which is really neat.
Hmm.
Double damage is very relevant, especially with haste, like that. That can close games out a lot faster than the opponent could be expecting. But like again, I always go back to what deck really wants this effect, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It is the cheapest like haste 2 damage in the entire game, and but like I did a lot of like the Lightning Legend from last set, which is 3 CP haste does 2 damage, and that has not proven to be a top tier thing you can do yet. So does decoupling that damage from 13, like having to play enough 13 cards, and also like having this like extra modal utility of like, well, I'd love to give haste, but like I'm just gonna kill the thing instead, and I'll just have a 3 CP 8k. And
Yeah.
like, is that enough to make this card good? I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on it?
I just kind of wish we're at the point in the game, the decks are so strong and the cards are so strong. Like, would it have been too strong for her to do it on attack as well? It's kind of odd that she gets that one big shot and then it's kind of done. Like, I know the effect doesn't end at the end of the turn, but like, what if every turn, okay, this time I'm gonna punch you for 8, which then doubles, and then this time, like, I don't know, would that have been too much? Especially if you have to wait till damage 5. Like, I feel like damage triggers have fallen off more and more as the game has gone on. So, even then, even if she did that, would you still play this dark forward? I don't know, but I think it would have been more worth consideration as opposed to just this kind of one and done. She blindsides you.
I don't know. That's an interesting question. Like if you're saying like at the start of your attack phase, choose one of the following two, kind of right?
Yeah, or when she attacks, or
Because
whatever the appropriate wording of it is.
I don't think it could be when she attacks, because then you would choose like on play, give her haste, and then attack and kill a thing, which probably is too much for a hero dark card. Like that she would
But
do.
even if it was only a damage 5, that you could, because you'd only be.
No,
Well,
because
yeah, I
like
see what you're saying. If she had the entry and attack, yeah,
so it would have to be like start of attack phase probably, but like there's advantages to this as well. Like this doesn't lose to Cucullin in the same way. Like if you really need to kill something, then you can't like you're like if they have
yeah,
removal, like okay, I play this and then like I need to kill the thing, but like before I go to combat, the witch just sacks some 2 things and kills her. Now the witch hangs around. Like
yeah.
it would be kind of like I think it would be slightly better, but I think it's a side grade at the end of the day. I yeah, like I can see it. Like I can see the lore where this card is like, no, no, no. Like I'm gonna get to 5 with my other stuff, and this is gonna finish the game every time for me. But like, and again, like in the other utility is good, but it's a really interesting card. Like I said, it's the closest they've gotten with these, I think, in a long time to making this like dark hero into a card I want to sleeve up and play.
Mm.
LBs. So every LB this set is a multi-element LB. They're all rares, and they all are, I believe, two down the wheel. So like fire, wind, ice, earth, like all the way like that way through. So first one is Firion, which is I believe the only full art. So he is a warrior and a rebel. LB1 costs 7. When he enters the field, choose 3 fire backups and wind backups. Activate them. Look at the top 3 of your deck. Add a card to your hand. Put the others on the bottom of the deck in any order. So I like this card a great deal, actually. I think that like it's very powerful. If you think about what it is, basically it's like a 4-cost LB that just requires you to have 3 backups to play him, for the most part, right? Now, granted, you could play him with fewer and just not get the backups, but then he'll cost more. Um, look at the top 3, put one in hand, put the rest in the bottom is a very powerful effect, and we're seeing a lot more of that lately. Where it's not reveal, it's not anything. It's just look at the certain number of cards, one in hand, rest of the bottom. You don't need to show your opponent. And if you think about like Fire Wind, like, okay, I'm going to get like an Amaterasu or like an Azura or like Lulu or like all these like powerful cards. Some of these you don't want the opponent to know you have access to them, right? Or a Chocobo, for instance. Could be another card like you don't want your opponent to know that you have. The only thing I see with this card is I don't think there's anything that plays this.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is like Fire Wind has never been like super relevant. Is there any list that's
no, like Fire Wind has been like one of those element combinations that just doesn't work. Like the only thing it really has going for it is like Brynhild or Lulu. But again, you start running into that same issue with wind cards, which is that the more wind cards you have, the more wind cards you want. And then like, what does fire add to wind? Well, Amaterasu and like kill spells. It's like, well, wind now has Pinello, Fina, and Luso. What do you need burn and auto canceling for anymore, right? So I like the card. I think it's strong. Maybe there's like a cadets list that like it's like fire wind cadets or like plays enough fire and wind backups in cadets where it's like you can consistently get this off. But I will say Hobby Japan did put out this like Fire Wind Sky Pirates Rebels list, which is really interesting. That's like a wind, water, fire list. And he looks really neat in that deck as well. So maybe something like that, but I don't know. Something actually is neat, by the way. Just a little tangent is that Hobby Japan is now officially putting out FFTCG, the Japanese Twitter puts out like official like these are our deck profiles from our testers that like we're doing, and so like they put out a Cat 8 one that they put out recently. There's the Fire Wind Water Sky Pirate Rebels list that's like super cool. I'm like, oh wow, these are really neat ways of thinking about this. Like they're using cards that like I wasn't thinking about with some of these, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that Minwu was a really good card, like. Maybe that's like the right way to take some of these cards. So I do like to see that a little bit now. So again, great card. Don't have a home for it currently. Robo Act Bells. This is the Fire Earth Black Mage and new Warlock Warlord as the job. Can't wait for that job to get some support. Cat 11, LB2. When he enters the field, choose a character. If you have 5 backups or Earth backups, you can break it. What do you think on this one?
So again, Fire Earth has never been like super relevant outside of some FF7 stuff. But I mean, you could play this in Mono Earth, right? Like Mono Earth always has the ability to tap for granted, it's a little expensive in that, but that deck wants to ramp up to its backups anyway, so the effect should always be online. And if there's a key character, keep in mind character, so it doesn't have to be a forward. If there's some monster that's holding you down, or there's just some backup, I don't know what it would be, but it's keeping their strategy alive, and you can just go, nope, get it off the field. That seems really good. So I could absolutely see Mono Earth keeping this in the limit break deck, even as just a one, because the limit break deck functions so differently, right? You can have a one of this and you can always use it. It's not like a real deck where, hey, I have to put in 3 copies to make sure I see it. A single Robel Akbel says, hey, if I ever need to break that key character in Mono Earth, all right, I've got my guy for it. So yeah, seems very solid there.
Yeah, I like it for that. Historically, the only Earth Fire deck that I think ever saw play was Avalanche Operatives in like Opus 15 or Opus 14. Obviously, those decks don't usually get to 5 backups, but like in Mono Earth specifically, something this does do, you talk about like how, you just choose the one thing, Lena or Sidwa for like the really big ones that are like, but cards it's very hard to break a 2 CP backup a lot of the time.
Yes.
And yes, this is going to compete with Tidus. So usually you'll go against Tidus and you'll say, okay, well, I'm going to play Tidus instead, and I'll spin a forward, spin a backup, draw two. That's going to be better than the break a character.
Yeah.
But this doesn't require you to be able to do stuff. Like you can just something that happens with Tidus a lot, and I abused the crap out of this is the Leo has to be on field and keep his text box once the Tidus hits play to work.
Yes.
This just happens. Like when you go, if you went like Leo, Warrior of Light, Roble, there's no window for them to blank the Leo. The Leo did his job. So now, if they want to cut you off of this, if you don't have a Tyro in your backups, they have to like Kakullen the Leo right there. Otherwise, like they do it, which means that like you don't have to dig into your LB anymore. And then like it procs the Emmet Selk you might have in place. Now you have like Emmet's you can still get that like kill a forward, kill a backup effect. And
Yeah.
so I do really like it as a 1 of in Mono Earth for that. And like the more backups you can break in control mirrors, the better it gets. Like maybe there's a world where even you go like Tidus break the or put this backup on top, and then you go Roble right afterwards and you break a second backup. And now in this control mirror you have Leo, Warrior of Light, Tidus, Roble, and they just lost 2 backups and a forward. Like sure you've ditched the cards you drew for the Tidus, but like they're so far behind at that point, and like they may never recover. So sure, that's Magical Christmas Land. That's your entire LB deck, but it just seems really strong to me.
Agreed.
Shadow Lord is a Pentalogica 11 Job Kindred. Was that his? I thought his job was always Job Shadow Lord. That's a new one, I think.
Yeah, it might be new. I've never played through all of 11, but I thought you were correct, but maybe I'm misremembering.
He has 8,000 power. He's an LB2. He is the same as those Czech LBs from Opus 24 that I hated because I just think they're really boring. If you have 4 ice characters, you get 2 dull freezes on any character, and if you have 4 earth characters, you get to add a character in your break zone to your hand. I think on a scale of Behemoth or Dragon King to Ultimate Weapon, this is closer to Ultimate Weapon. Like it seems like if you get both effects off, Dull Freeze 2, get back and have a Noctis at the same time is like pretty solid, but you do have to get both because if it's just like the Dull Freeze 2, it's like a lot of work to get a side grade on the Heretical Knight Garland, and if it's just get a character back, you're doing work to get a Noctis with 1,000 more power.
Yeah.
So I like it reads fine. I'm glad that they at least
boring.
I'm just glad that like they did more interesting stuff with this. It really does feel like they're just like hampered by the existence of Leo and Earth in LB design at this point. They're like I some of them do a better job of getting around than others. This one, like I said, they just said like, well, screw it. This design worked previously. We're just going to do it again. But it's so boring. Like
it is.
It like to go off tangent. Multi-element cards are so exciting. Like these are, if you think about like how metagame defining multi-LBs have been historically, Axstar, Firion, Warrior of Light, Ferris, even back in the day for the Warrior of Light deck, Locke,
CP Locke,
Sid Hayes, Sephiroth, Alcid,
Sophie,
Zeromus, Sophie, Une. Like these are not Zidane, Ishtola.
Yeah,
like
they're a big deal.
Like, yeah, it is not just like these are the most important cards ever printed for these multi-element combinations. And the elements that got really bad ones, Fire Wind, when they got Lednar, like it crippled them. Like it made it where it was never worth playing those element combinations because the multis were so bad.
Yeah.
And like to see them approach these LBs and say like, well, they're rares, they can't be too powerful, so we'll give it like 2 draft common effects and like you can access it from LB, so like that makes up for the difference. Like, yeah, like it's technically powerful enough to see play, but like that's not what these have been historically. Like they've not been strong enough for a draft common, and like therefore, but like this doesn't excite me to play Ice Earth.
Yes.
Like, and if it doesn't 100%. Excite me to play Ice Earth, why are we printing this at this point? Like, maybe it's hard to box out like, well, Ice Earth from Mono Earth or something like that, which again is just a problem with Mono Earth at this point with like Leo, like, but like at that point, like they're poaching Tidus. They don't give a crap about anything else. Print cool effects because like at least then it's not so like cookie cutter like Leo Wall Tidus, Leo Wall Tidus, Leo Wall Tidus. Like give them cool things to do.
Yeah.
at that point. Like lean into that. Like, well, fuck it. Like we fucked up. Mono Earth gets to do all the LB things. Like instead of designing, it's like, okay, here's the draft common, two draft common effects, and like if you have four of each, you get both. The cards are
Yeah.
powerful. Like Ultimate Weapon is a very strong LB when you catch somebody with it, but it doesn't make me excited to play Fire Water. And it's like that's what I want from these. I want these to excite me to play these two element stuff.
Preach, brother, preach. What a speech. Oh, I loved it. No, you hit the nail on the head. Like, even back in when I was like falling out of the game, like those multi-elements really were impactful and they 100% defined their colors. So to see like this generic form in an LB is just like, how far are they fallen?
They do better with some of them, and to their credit, they don't have like the same pattern. Like you'll already notice with the Furion that like the Furion does something completely unique. It doesn't have the check fours. It doesn't have like pick one of two. Like
Mhm.
it does its own thing. So they're doing better. They're getting better. But yeah. Anyways, rant's over. We can move on. Again, I think Shadow Lord is very strong and very powerful. If you're playing an Ice Earth deck, you will play this card. It does not make me want to play Ice Earth by itself compared to something like what Cindy did this set.
Yep.
The Emperor. So here is the second Emperor of this set. His category is Sopfo, Job Emperor, LB1. When he attacks, you choose a forward and dull it. And when it leaves the field, you can search for a card named the Emperor and add it to your hand. So it's kind of funny. I did watch another set review, and they immediately poo-pooed this card. They're like, I think this card sucks. Why would you ever play this?
Mhm.
I actually kind of like this card. Now, admittedly, there's kind of caveats to it. It's not the best card ever, but like as far as like being an LB card, a multi-element card that makes me think, there's a lot of Lightning Emperors, there's a lot of Ice Emperors, various levels of playability for all of them. It leaves the field, so any way you do it, you kind of get that +1 back after you play it. Only
Yeah.
costs 4, it's LB1, it's so cheap. And if there's anything I have learned from LBs in Ice, LB Dula Forward is the most obnoxious shit in the entire game. Like, if you think about how good Surge is. Like, I remember, like, I don't know if I had you on for the set review of Opus 23 with, like, Kuja. And, like, Kuja reads so boring. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't read like this, like, crazy powerful card, but, like, Kuja has been, like, a defining reason to play Ice in LB because it's
Mhm.
repeatable dull from LB. And this is just a 4-cost forward from LB that every turn when it attacks dulls a forward, and when it dies it searches for a card named Emperor. That's just good. Like, I'm amazed at how good this card is for what it is.
Is there an Emperor backup you can get, or are they all forwards?
There is an Emperor backup. There's the Ice Starter Emperor backup. It's a 2-cost, like damage 3 or damage 5. Like both.
That's right. Yeah, I love that card. Yeah, well, so this is a lot more appealing then, because I was like, if it only gets forwards, the search is it, but if you like, I would be the type of card. Oh, I drew poorly. Okay, I'll just bring him out turn one, and then when you get rid of him, I can go get that backup I was missing. That makes him a lot more appealing.
Yeah, there's like the auto tax Emperor as well in Lightning, where it's like your opponent's auto or action abilities cost 2 to activate. Like I like, I think
Hmm.
that card is actually potentially playable. Again, that Dark Emperor I was talking about could be good even in an Ice Lightning shell. You go off of one backup, you play this big 9K, you draw 2 more cards, which like Ice Lightning does not have good methods of card draw. Like, I can't help but look at this card and go like, he does just enough. And again, this is what I want to see from these LBs, which is like, this pushes Ice Lightning in a direction. It's like, I want you to be
Yeah.
attacking, I want you to be aggressive, and I want you to think about the cards in your deck in a different and new way. And like, this is my favorite LB this set because it's the LB that like completely changes how I think about an element while still feeling strong enough to be worth playing. And I love this card for that. So I went from a really negative rant to a really positive rant. Like the duality of talking about multi-element LBs,
Yeah.
apparently.
The glory of cardboard.
Okay, I like I went to the rant. I'm talking about the two coolest LBs right afterwards. So here's Onion Knight.
Yeah, right.
He is 6-cost Wind Lightning DFF Category 3 Job Ninja. When Onion Knight leaves the field, you play a DFF forward of cost 4 or less from your hand. Well, you might think, well, leaves the field. That's not that good, right? Like, he's got to die for me to get any value. But no, you can sacrifice him to break a forward of cost 4 or less. So you get to play this as a proactive play. You can play him, have him sit out there as long as you want, and then when your opponent tries to deal with him or kill him, you can always sack him in response to break a forward and then play a DFF forward from your hand. This breaks
Hmm.
character timings. You can play, and there's some good DFF forwards in Wind and Lightning. You can play a Lulu on your opponent's turn and pick up a summon. You can play the 9 from the Decidia, or from the Decidia 9 that like is dull of forward or whatever, and you can get like a break of 4 to 4 or
Yeah.
less. It fills a niche actually for Wind Lightning, which is that like Cloud doesn't get 4-cost forwards, and this does. So like this does something that like Lightning LBs don't have access to normally. Like I wish this card had Job Warrior of Light because I would love to play this in Refia. Honestly, like it'd be so fun there. But like obviously people are gonna say Wind Lightning's or Fire Winds the Dane. Stop trying to force Wind Lightning Zidane. It's not that good, I promise you.
Oh, it's that good, people. Keep playing it. I want to hear Ghoul rant about it in every video.
But like it does play Wind Lightning or the Fire Wind Zidane if you wanted to like somehow. But like and that's in the wedge that they're trying to push this set with like the Fire Wind Lightning wedge with like the
Yeah.
Terra and the 9 and like all of that. So it even works for that. Like I'll. So again, this like makes me look at Wind Lightning in a different light. And I'm like, ooh, I gotta look for some DFF forwards I want to play in Wind and Lightning, and I have like this card that's powerful enough to make me want to consider doing that. More of this, less of Shadow Lord.
Yeah. Good card. I love action effects. You can just break them immediately. That's great. But I think you said you wanted more of Shadow Lord, is what we just heard. So here's the Wind Water version.
Yeah, so this is Vaughn. He's a Sky Pirate, DFF in 12. He's a check LB. There's 2 of them this that I think. If you
Yeah.
have 4 wind characters, you activate your backups. If you have 4 water characters, a forward loses 8,000 power. Like he's fine. Like he's not a bad card. Like I think he will see
Yeah.
play because he is the job is relevant. The name sucks, but like if you don't have a Vaughn in play already, you'll happily play this, right? It's just to like get more Sky Pirates. If you
Yeah.
need like another Sky Pirate for Pinello, you can do that. If you don't, like okay, well it's another cast potentially. Like I could see like Mono Wind decks adopting this if they don't want to go all in on Ace. Like Ace plus a Vaughn, you have this like 2-cost cast that activates your backups.
Yeah.
I don't know that many decks that are going to get both effects. Like the Wind Water decks, maybe, but like then are you going to get to 5 backups? I don't know. But like he's fine, but he doesn't like. I'm not excited to play a Wind Water deck with this card. Like it feels like in one of those cards that, like they put restrictions in because they don't want 4-color decks poaching it. But like again, like the 4-color decks can already do really cool, badass things when they have 5 backups and multiple characters in play. Like they could just you could have given this to Refi and it wouldn't have broken the game. I promise you. So.
Yeah. Did he need to just have 5K power? Like, would that have been crazy if he had 7 or 8? I don't think so.
I get it too. He is a 2-cost bat forward if you play the
If you get the wind trigger, yeah.
yeah, like I could see why his power is smaller. It doesn't bother me that much, but like again, like this just doesn't excite me. I'm not like even in a Sky Pirates deck, there's not usually are not on a high density of wind cards to like make this work.
Yeah.
Like you have what like you have the Tomage and the Elsa in play, and like maybe you have like a water, like maybe you play Lena as well, and maybe that does it. But like, again, excite me, push me in a direction, make me do cool things.
Perhaps our next one will.
This one is all right. This is Warrior of Light from Sopfo. Job Warrior of Light, LB2. When he enters the field, search for a Earth or Water standard unit of cost 3 or less and play it to the field. And when a standard unit enters your field, you draw a card and then discard a card. I love this one. This one is so cool. It's pretty basic in some ways. Like it just does kind of what Luso does, but slightly better. But like doing Luso but better is still good. A little bit of filtering. If you think about like what this does with like, you go Warrior of Light, and then you go play a Miner from deck, and now all of a sudden like you shouldn't be able to brick on not finding backups in decks, which I love. That like
Mhm.
you, if you're in a backup heavy deck, you can guarantee that. You can go like Loper draw 2, put 1 on the bottom, draw 1, discard 1. Do that with Astrologian. Like I think that's really cool. In Chaos Arc decks, that little bit of filtering actually does matter because you can draw multiple Chaoses and like be bricked up on Chaoses. So now you can kind of turn your Chaoses into useful cards in hand. He's a pretty cheap cost if you think about what he is. So, 5-cost card that plays a 3-cost standard unit to play. Like, I don't know if there's that many like forwards I'm happy to play, but like the Black Mage from this set is like a favorite on this as well, which is really neat. So I like this card. I think it's very strong, very powerful. I think we'll see a lot of play, especially in Chaos Arc decks going forward.
It's very clear someone on the team loves Earth Water because it always just seems to get good cards.
The density of Earth Water cards that are good is why. Like, if you going back, you have Sarah Mobius, which is like a crazy powerful common. You have Doga, which is banned. You
Yep.
have Sophie, which is restricted to one. Then you go to the next wave of support. You have Garnet, which still sees play. It's like the
Yep.
best common from that cycle by far. Like you look at like some of the other comments, like who the hell is going to play Gilgamesh or like Jekt or like all those
Yeah.
comments from that time frame. You have Maya, who okay, Maya's not great. She's good. Like her
Yeah.
text is fine. Not in the Mobius cards to make Maya work, so we'll ignore that. Une, arguably the best card in the
Yeah.
entire goddamn game.
Yeah.
And then like Warrior of Light is like one of them like clear standout multi-element LBs as well. Like they cannot print bad Earth Water cards.
Yeah. They love Earth Water.
And speaking of elements that they may like less than others, here is Fire Lightning. So this is Terra. She's a Magic Knight, DFF and 6 LB2. When she enters the field, you can pay a Lightning to break it forward, and you can pay a Fire to RFG your opponent's break zone. So the first thing that comes to mind on this is I feel like these are flipped. I feel like the Fire one should break the forward, and then the Lightning
Yeah.
one should be the
I
break zone removal. I guess like Fire doesn't get outright break very often, so like that, and like the Demon
yeah.
does the
But does it
Fire.
does it remove your break zone much either? I guess yeah, Demon kind of does, but
She reads honestly pretty decently. Like I could see even like Mono Earth playing a copy of this as like for the same Leo Wall T display that you could do. You could go Leo Wall Terra, and then pay Lightning, pay Fire, break a forward, and rip the break zone from a deck that's really break zone reliant. Like that seems actually pretty good. Um,
yeah.
I do think this is like a more interesting design. Like the modality of it, like is it's better than the check fours for me. It doesn't push me in a direction of
Yeah.
Fire Lightning though. Like it doesn't make me excited to sleeve a Fire Lightning deck up, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's still very generic. I like the pay the pip to do the effect. The only weird thing is that if you don't have backups, that makes it very awkward to play. Like, let's say they jam something out that you immediately got to kill. It then gets very expensive if you have to discard 3 for the Terra and then also discard a whole other card to pay the extra pip for it.
Yeah, like you definitely need like the backups in play for it. But yeah, like that is the problem for me though. Is like what's the what's the Fire Lightning deck? I guess it's really good in cadets if you're
Yeah.
on like a Fire and Lightning cadets list because you don't need that many. You just need like the Fire and Lightning to get her into play, and then you need a Fire and Lightning backup once she gets into play, right? So like
Yeah.
maybe it's relatively easy to make that work, but yeah, like she's good. Again, anything that kills Une from LB, I always give a second look at. Like that's just so
Yeah.
important. But Fire Lightning is one of those elements where like both elements do kind of the same thing, so like overlapping them doesn't do very much to help you most of the time. And the only
Yeah.
deck that's ever been like a Fire Lightning top tier deck was the Cat 13 deck, and like I guess like the Cat 14 aggro deck. But those aren't decks that are
Yeah.
playing backups and could really make use of Terra here. So
Yeah.
where's she go? What's the direction she goes into? I don't know. But she does enough where I'm like, I feel better about her than some of the other multi LBs at least. So which is good. Terra's probably my favorite, one of my favorite characters of all time. So seeing a playable Terra from LB, I'll take it. Um, so we have Locke here. I believe this is our last LB. Ice
Yes.
Water. DFF Cat 6, Job Treasure Hunter, LB2. When he enters the field, choose a forward opponent controls. You return it to its owner's hand. And when a forward opponent controls return from the field to its owner's hand, your opponent discards a card. This effect will only trigger once per turn. So I think this card's super cool. The comparison to me, like again, like the Emperor is a card that pushes me in a direction. The Onion Knight pushes me in a direction. This gives Ice Water, which is another one of its element combination that does not have a thing that it does that you want to do, right? And it
Yeah.
says, here's what you want to do. You want to combine bounce with discard, which is awesome.
Yes.
Because there's like a lot of cool ways of like working with this. You have cards like Unicorn that are like, if you have a Cat 6 forward, bounce a forward, draw a card, and then now they discard a card. If your opponent has no cards in hand and you play this lock, that you'll bounce the forward, they'll have the one card that you just bounced, and then they'll have to discard. Or if they have one card in hand, you can bounce an LB, and the LB will go to their hand and then go back to the LB deck, and then they have to discard the one card in their hand. Like, I like that this pushes you in a direction for this Ice Water deck, and for the first time ever, I'm like actually like, man, Lock is really cool and really what makes me want to play Ice and Water together? Like, what's the deck that does that? And anything that makes me do that for the multi elements, that's what these cards should be. Like I love this card. I think it's super cool.
Well, I like it too because Ice Water. I tried to build that deck back in Opus 13 with like the Celestia, which I thought was a cool effect, but it really lacked removal. Like those two elements just did not have good removal, and so yeah, this makes me wonder. Well, maybe Lock is your removal piece that. As long as you can keep bouncing stuff, you just go in on this bounce engine. But instead of them getting all their value back by just replaying it, oh, you're actually punishing them and then making them discard. And then maybe you have a Biblos on the field who takes advantage of that discard. And the fact that it's a limit break, again, you don't have to load your deck up with three of these and hope you find it. You always have that piece ready and available. So yeah, I fully agree on Lock. This card's interesting.
And if you think about the cards it's synergized with, Biblos, Tros, these are good cards. Like we're not stretching
Mm-hmm.
that much, but we're thinking about our cards in a new and different way. Cards like Realm, which is a card that like does objectively a really cool thing with like doubling your summons. Well, that's actually like kind of interesting with Lock now because now Lock says that like, okay, cool. I want to play bounce spells. Well, if I'm playing a lot of bounce spells and card draw spells, maybe the Realm gets better now. And now I'm playing the Realm in my Ice Water
Mm-hmm.
deck. And okay, well, a lot of monsters have good bounce effects. Like this Hagen, the one cost of Hagen that like bounces a thing to their hand. So maybe I'm playing
Yeah.
some monsters in here, and I've got these summons. So maybe I'll play I don't know, the Garnet from this set, and then there's like the sacrifices stuff. Well, a lot of Leviathans bounce, so maybe I'll play a bunch of Leviathan summons, and then I'll play the Leviathan summon that cares about Leviathan summons. Like, I don't know. I just this is what I want to see from these multi LBs, and especially for like this one makes me the happiest because like the Ice Lightning one, Ice Lightning I think was relatively playable already.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, Ice Lightning is one of those elements that like Ice Lightning did not exist until Alcid Ceromus, really. Like, it just never was a thing.
Yeah.
So, like, it needs more than most other elements. But, like, Ice Water has not been a thing in a long, like, since, like, Vice Kings,
Yeah.
which, also was a deck with an identity. So, I love this. This is what I want from these LBs, and I'm happy this one is as cool as it is.
Yeah.
And then I need to go real quick, maybe some live editing done cheap here. We're going to go pull up our starters real quick. Search for starter, hopefully. Nope, not that. Do that.
All the ones on Materia Hunter have the sample label, if that matters to you.
Nah, they're all going to have it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, there's no official photos?
I think that if there was one, they would have it already.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, so we have 8 more cards to talk about. We have our starters. This is the first one. This is Wuklamot. We'll kind of go through these a little bit quickly because I think everybody has kind of seen these already. We've played with them for now a couple of weeks. Wook is clearly one of the standouts. Being a princess, being a warrior, very searchable. Kind of does the Therian thing of like if you have a bunch of characters in play, she gets better. Just a clear, very strong card. Already made an impact on the format. One of my favorite cards from the set in that regard.
Yep.
The face card for the Firestarter is Zach. I've heard a lot of people kind of poo-pooing this. I don't agree. I actually really like this card. It is a little bit awkward, admittedly, if you kill all of their forwards with the entry. Like, say they have 3 forwards, but one of them has 5,000 power.
Yeah.
You do lose the cleave, which is a little bit annoying. But I do like him as like a finisher for like a fire deck that's getting backups into play. Like I don't know if like mono fire plays him because they have so many things, but like thinking about like I could see this just being like a good finisher card for like a water fire warriors deck or something like that. Just that
Yeah.
cleave is so strong and having access to it, especially if you can round it up with like a goblin here or there. I think this is like one of the better ones in the set for that. Going into the Earth ones, there's Cloud. I've seen some people hyped for this one. I don't really get it. Like, yes, he's a warrior, but like Earth is not really something that warriors have been like excited to splash previously. And his effects are all like fine. Giving all your forwards Brave in 3K is like cool, but like, again, that's you can play Mott from LB and get 90% of
Yeah.
that. And like saying one forward can't be broken and doesn't return to its owner's hand by summons or abilities. It seems strong, but again, like, what is it really accomplishing? Like, okay, the one
Yeah.
forward is not profitable to block anymore. cool. I will take the damage, like, or I'll just chump block it. And, like,
Right, exactly.
so I don't really get this one, but some people seem to be enjoying it. The Earth card I do really like, actually, and this is a interesting one, is Luso, which is a
It's hot dog, Luso.
one cost Clan Gully member, which I think that's the first time he's had that job, I believe. When he deals damage to a forward, break it, which is hilarious on a one cost forward.
Yeah.
When he deals damage to your opponent, select up to two of the following two. Choose a forward, deal it 3k damage, and then choose a character in your break zone, add it to your hand. This is the most text a one cost forward could ever possibly have, it feels
Right?
like.
Yeah, no
Um,
kidding.
and I really like this card. It's funny because the starter deck made me think of something I hadn't really even considered, which is there's a Hugh Yerg that fetches a one cost forward from your deck and just plays it to the field, which like always seemed like an okay card, but like not one I was excited to play. Well, if you get Luso with that, like they don't want to block this guy because if they block him, they're gonna like hate life. And then
Yeah.
like if they don't block him, he's still gonna kill him. So like this like usually should trade up unless they find removal, but he only costs one. So like what trades up with them? There's the summons from the last set that are like if you have two Earth characters, you can dull them to like use Titan, which forces a fight, which a one-sided fight. So now Luso kills anything with the fight there too, which is cool. Like I just like this card, and I think there's like definitely a world where like Hugh Yerk plus Luso is a thing that like people should be doing in like I don't know like Mono Earth. What I don't know what deck does it, but like it seems very powerful.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, this again makes me want to build around it.
Um, Another one of the cards that makes me excited and want to build around it is Sphene, I believe you said is how this is pronounced.
Yes, Queen Sphene.
All the cards in your break zone can't be removed from the game, which is by your opponent's abilities. Which is, I think, the only other card that's this cheap without line of text is Letta, which is in water.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we've seen it this cheap in lightning. And then for a zero cost action ability, you choose a forward other than herself that was put in the break zone from the field this turn, add it to your hand. This card is so cool, like what she enables, like with like Zodiark.
Hmm.
I like the idea of playing her with the Emperor from this set. You like play the Emperor and you sack the Emperor, you kill a thing, you draw
Yeah.
a card, and then like on the stack of like the Emperor, like playing a card named Emperor, you use Sphene to pick him back up and then play the same Emperor again. Like that seems really fun to me. So I think this card has like a lot of potential for that, but she is a build around. It feels like I don't know. Again, like this is a card that
Yeah.
like you have to like find a specific thing to do with her, and then like how reliable is she to find? Unfortunately, Queen is the one like royal job that Sarah can't find. She can get Prince, Princess, and King, not Queen. So
Yeah.
Queen's not searchable for some reason. But this card's just really cool to me. Like I would I don't know.
I won't s- I won't spoil the Dawn's Trail story either, but it's very thematic too, what she does. Like they captured the theme of her very well.
Yeah. One thing to note: this doesn't get back monsters. So like say you like make a blue worm a forward and then sack it with Witch of the Fens, you can't pick up a blue worm with this because it's not a forward in the break
Oh,
zone.
because it's considered a monster in the yeah, okay.
So, like it would have to be like I guess like Quacho Queen, which is like a monster in all situations, but like so you could like sack it to it, but like it's forward in the break zone would work.
Okay.
But like that's not the end of the world. Obviously, there are decks that want this effect too. Like I said, you think about like an Axis, like sacrifice Axis, pick up the best forward in your break zone, and then Sphene back the Axis. Like that's
Yeah.
really cool. So, uh, yeah, a super cool card. Lightning, 7 cost EX.
Oh, thank goodness. You mentioned earlier that we weren't going to get lightnings. I was going to be so sad to not get another lightning this set.
Yeah, obviously one of the like the most common name in the game. For what it's worth, this is one of the better lightnings we've had. EX burst, break it 4 to 4 or less is good. Compares very favorably to like the old Aranea from the starter decks that people keep
Yeah.
playing. And then when a forward is put from the field in the break zone, give a forward haste. Repeatable haste outlet is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And it's on burst. Heck yeah.
yeah, she doesn't get the haste on a burst, but I guess that doesn't really matter. I guess it does off of like
Well,
Elena
yeah.
Freya. But like, I was like messing with a lot of Leo early on in the previous format, and Lightning would go right into that deck.
Mm,
I think so. Very very cool card. I like that one quite a bit. Kind of
yeah.
does everything that you think she needs to. Charlotte's a card needs no introduction. Everybody that saw this card immediately knew what she did. 4 cost Knight BE. If she's dealt damage, reduce it by 1,000 instead. Forwards can't be chosen by summons of cost once, and your opponent's forwards can't use action abilities. So Um, fuck your Ramza, fuck your Refia, fuck your Ferris. Like,
Your Cuchulainn.
yeah, I like it's like it might as well say you cannot Cuchulainn this
Yeah,
card.
right. I was like, what else is that gonna cover?
I guess you can't Ifrit her as well.
Yeah,
But like I thought that was this card is just so funny the way that it's designed to me. Like
yeah.
um, she's seen play in Knights. She's seen play as like kind of a counter tech for like the Knight's Mirror. I've seen this hose like a mono water deck that like try to use like a Lena. It's like, well, Lena's revivals and action ability, so that doesn't work anymore.
Hmm.
So the biggest problem with this card is honestly just like there are 3 Charlottes in the game and all 3 of them are very powerful.
Yeah, they love Charlotte.
So yeah, cool card.
I do want to say I am a fan of cards with just 3 field effects, so it doesn't even make a stack when you play here. Just boop, okay, it's all in play now. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm going to have to find some way to get this off the field in Refia, and I'm going to cry a bit when that happens.
Yeah.
Uh, and then lastly, we have Yuna. Um, so again, the other name they just can't stop printing. It's very funny at the start of that. They're
Mhm.
like, here's Yuna and here's Lightning. We can't stop these
Yeah.
two. When she enters the field, play a forward of cost 3. That's not 3 or less. It must be exactly cost 3. So again, stop
Mm.
trying to force the Fire Winds Zidane into everything. I promise you, there's other things you can do. And then when she attacks, look at the top 3, 1 to hand, rest to the bottom. I think she's honestly just pretty solid. Like, seems like a decent card
Yeah.
for Gigawall, especially. Like, Gigawall is a deck that plays nothing but 3 cost forwards a lot of the time. Um, doesn't have a lot of ways to deploy some of them if they don't find Gigawall. So, you know,
Yeah.
maybe you get stuck with like a Ishtola or something in hand that you like can't cast. This handles that. And then just like on attack, look at the top 3, put 1 card in hand, the rest of the bottom is just like pretty good value. Like,
Yeah. Especially for a card that got that much on entry already.
yeah, like the if there's any downside I can see, again, she kind of pseudo costs 6 on entry, so like 'cause you have to like have the forward lined up in hand ready to go already.
Yeah.
But that's not the end of the world. And then like the other thing is like she's a little bit small, so like especially in water, I don't it could be maybe a little tricky to like get in for an attack with her too. And then lastly, like the name unit is obviously pretty contested, so
Yeah.
but yeah, that is the entire set of Journey of Discovery. Travis, thank you for going on this wild journey with me.
Oh, absolutely. I discovered so much.
No, I do have to really appreciate like huge shout outs to Travis for some very late long nights having fun. It's been a lot of fun for me. I hope you've had fun as well. But just discussing
Absolutely.
about a bunch of cards and yeah, I'm really excited for this set. Like if I were to give like kind of a final personal impressions of the set, it doesn't feel like the strongest set we've ever had. I think that the last 2 sets probably read stronger in my head if you were to say like
Hmm.
okay, like Clive and Ifrit and like Genesis felt so strong in 24, and then like 25, like Yuna and Tidus, and like all these cards seem really, really strong. Like you know, Glenn for the new soldier stuff and all that, and then you go to the set after that. Like I feel like this doesn't feel, but like there's so many really interesting and coherent cards. It feels like, you know, I've heard a term in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a DLC set where it's like it doesn't like change anything, but it makes everything kind of
Yeah.
interesting, and there's new things you can play in just about every deck. And I think as far as DLC sets go, I think it's one of the most interesting ones they've ever printed. Like I love all of the Cat 14 cards of this set. I think that like Graha, Zoralja, Wuklamot, Kryl are all really unique and really powerful cards and really fun cards. Um, I like the Emperor in water. I like the Vaughn and how he can change what wind can do going forward. I
Hmm.
think Zondi's a really neat, you know, card for fire. Zeromus is like a protection effect in a way that we haven't seen basically ever, but like also has this weird, you know, extra, you know, the crystal stuff on him is kind of a strange way of taking that. So I don't know. I like the set, even if I don't think it is the best or most exciting set they've ever had.
Yeah, I hope a lot of this stuff shows up at Worlds because that'll be kind of disappointing if we just see kind of the same old as always. But no, I'm in a fun position right now with FF in that even though I don't actively play because I know so much of the history of the game that like I can still appreciate these cards and where they contrast and compare to their older stuff. So thank you so much for having me on. And if you're not already subscribed to Daniel's channel, you absolutely should be if you love FFTCG.
And if you're a Mickey Mouse enjoyer or a Kingdom Hearts enjoyer, and it, as I guess
Uh-huh.
we should call the duo the duo the Kingdom Hearts duo here because it's Mickey Mouse
We
and Final
should, yeah,
Fantasy.
yeah.
So
That fits.
no, if you enjoy the other half of Kingdom Hearts, go follow Travis and hear about some awesome Lorcana. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for some more Journey Discovery content in the near future.
Bye.